yeah. Beyond the vow, where the truth gets real. Faith and love, yeah, that's the deal. WC and Maria, bringing that glow. Tuesday nights is the show you gotta know.
Love ain't a moment, it's a movement we found. Beyond the vows, where the real talk sounds. From single to married, decades deep. Together we rise, where the promise is key.
Lessons and laughter, faith in the mix. Every story a bond, every challenge a fix.
SKST,
Tune in, don't be late.
7 p.m.
Fan trip,
Let's elevate. So come vibe with us. Take a seat, take a bow. We're diving deep.
What? Well, we're on. It's on.
Oh, my bad. Not good. You caught me. You caught me. Oh, hey, y'all.
Hey.
How y'all doing this evening? This morning, or whatever time you're watching. Yeah. So I was. She had this on her lips, and it was just so inviting. I just. Oh. Anyway, welcome to another wonderful episode of Beyond the Vows with your host, W.C. Brown.
And Maria Brown.
Well, and just remember, we're not experts. We're just married. So, honey, we're in a new studio tonight. And look at the picture right there. See the picture on the screen? Dallas, please. We won't talk about that tonight because that just wasn't good. Out of the playoffs. But we did fire our defensive coordinator. Finally. Anyway, so happy New Year to everybody. We are in 2026.
Yeah.
2026. And for those of you who made New Year's resolutions, we don't do that. We just, endeavor to be better. I hope you keep to your resolution or whatever you did, So, but we did say that this year we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Oh, yeah. It's not going to be G-rated. We're going to talk about everything. Lottie-dottie and everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about people, but I can't rhyme with Larry and everybody. Everything. So how's your New Year been so far?
So far, so good, Will.
Mm-hmm.
So far, so good. Looking forward to what God has for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly. We got some new additions this year already.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I was looking on the news, they were trying to see who was the first baby born in 2026. So many was born.
They were.
In 2026. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as we always do, we talk about our sponsor, which is deafchildhope.org. 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 I'm going to say it again. Deafchildhope.org. Go there today and peruse. That's a big word. Just look at the website and look at all the beautiful children who are not only in poverty, but they are deaf. They cannot hear. And that's what deaf is. And we want to be able to help them with a better life going into adulthood. Man, these kids have never, ever had a conversation with anybody. And it sometimes just breaks our heart. And we're doing what we have to do to try to help those that are doing that. So again, deafchildhope.org. And of course, we've got our SKST TV radio studios. Cam Grayson in the house, the Camster. So you'll see the website to go to SKS TV if you want to be on the show. And again, if you want, we've got, this is going to be exciting today because we have some people that have been asking questions. So you go to beyondthevows.skstv.tv at gmail.com. That's beyond the vows with an S dot SKST at gmail.com.
Did you say TV or did
No.
you say T?
No, I said beyond the vows
Mm-hmm.
dot SKSTV at gmail.com. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So, I like this. Sitting back there. So I have my this is says respect the sacrifice. This is for the military, and of course, if you see my hat that says PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. Yes, some of us wear it proudly, but respect the sacrifice was mainly talking about the military, how we how we served and stuff like that. But I want to take this to a marriage, because marriage is a sacrifice. What do you think?
In what way is it sacrifice?
See, I knew you would ask a question with a question, because you're giving of yourself to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You're being emotionally available, not vulnerable, emotionally available to somebody else.
Really?
Yeah. Child. That respect the sacrifice. We did.
Okay.
Yes. And then sometimes marriages end with PTSD. Oh,
But that's not what we're going to talk about.
right. That's not what we're talking
Let's
about.
go to where we're going.
So what I want to talk about tonight, we've got some questions that people have asked us, and we're excited because we've been trying to get y'all to do that forever. Okay, just to write in, let's email us, give us topics you want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And just I'm gonna give you a preview to next week. We have y'all got to tune in next week, because we have Kelvin and Latanya Dooley going to be with us next week. They are the co-owners of J&K Style Grill, where their daughter is the owner. And they are an exciting company. I'm just so excited for next week. But let's deal with what we're doing today. So we talk about, let's just talk about sacrifice, for a minute. And what that entails. We know that in the Bible, talk about Jesus, how he sacrificed his life, for each of us, how that because of his sacrifice, we're able to do the things that we are allowed to do. We have free will, and when you think about the ultimate sacrifice, that we could live a better life, And I think that's somehow when it turn that into, tie that into our marriage, when we sacrifice for each other, our sacrifice, what we may have, been raised with, how we may have thought about this, and we change for each other, And I think that's something that can be so exciting, when you're taking on something new.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I just think that when you make a decision to be the sacrifice, that you got to go, either you all the way in or you're not.
Oh, you're not.
Because
Yeah.
your relationship is dependent on that. And if you, just like you said, you'll be willing to change for that person, whatever, it's really got to take full effect. Mm-hmm. And it has to be something that the other partner sees. They have to be able to see it. They have to be able to feel it. They have to be able to know it, and the only way that that's going to happen is it's got to actually happen. And until that happens, that's not a sacrifice.
Gotcha. You
So
right on the nail.
We just we gotta do what we gotta do. If we're gonna say it, then do it. If you're not gonna do it, don't say it. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, no one has time to be playing games when it comes to relationships, when it comes to anything like that. The only thing we have time to do is to do the thing that is right. Mm-hmm. All right, because we have children. Our children are looking to us to be that perfect sacrifice, that perfect example for them. I'm not saying that we got a perfect relationship, no, because I don't think any relationship is perfect.
Mhm.
Telling you, I don't
Mhm.
think so. But you know, we got a job to do as parents.
Yeah, we do. We do. And I got a chance today to get, I'm actually being up for a doctorate, another doctorate in humanitarianism. And there was a question that they asked. And that question was, what have you done with your with what you do to help others to be either want to be like you or to follow in your footsteps in a marriage? Okay, what do you think of some of the attributes that a married couple, especially in the church, you know, should be able to portray that others would want to be like that?
I think truly being in love, not only just being in love, showing that. Sometimes it's not even what you say, it's what you do.
Mm.
Because people are definitely watching you, especially if you call yourself a child of God. Woo! There's a target already on your back. So so they're gonna watch. I mean, example, they're going to watch you because of me, and
Mhm.
vice versa.
Right.
They're gonna watch me
Right.
because of you. And if they see me in a certain way, they'll say, well, he must not be doing what he's supposed to be doing. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they see you in a certain way, oh, well, she must not be doing what she's supposed to be
Mhm.
doing. That's why it's really important that in the relationship that we go ahead, whatever it is that's going on, that we handle it.
Right.
And that we
Right.
get down to being real with each other, because life is short and it's not promised to us, but we got to do what we have to do. Let's have fun with the life that God has given
Mhm.
unto us. Enjoy the time that we have, to share with one another. Um, let your joy be full. Let your happiness
Right.
come forth.
Right.
So
Right.
those are some of the things that we just have to do in this married life.
And I was looking at some great quote. There's a quote from Kobe Bryant that we can actually use in marriage, and it was great things come from hard work
Mm,
and perseverance.
mm,
No excuses.
okay.
No excuses. So you're saying there's not, you can't make an excuse for not being loving. You can't make an excuse for not being more attentive. All that time. You just do it.
Well, then
You know?
what? Then why do we as couples? Why do we get to a point where none of that? I mean, all of that stops.
Yeah. There's some,
We
I
get
mean, yeah.
stop being attentive.
Right. Right.
Stop pursuing each other. Why does that stop?
Yeah. That, and I think a lot of times that happens because couples after so many years get complacent. Complacency, and I think that's something that I know you were saying about creating new memories. Keeping it live, keeping it. I've actually seen some couples. There's one couple. They've been married, I think, 78 years, and she walked in the kitchen. He still pats her on the behind.
Mhm.
And like I said, we really need to work at it.
Yeah, because the thing about it is love don't stop
But
after the vows are taken.
exactly.
So it doesn't stop there. It has to continue. So, unless you're just um growing old
Mhm.
and just tired and lazy and don't want to do anything, I pray that that is not you.
Oh no.
I'm just saying it's just time for those things to really start happening,
Mhm.
really start showing that appreciation. Because as you get older, there are certain things, of course, Your body's going to talk to you. Oh
Right.
my God, these
Right.
bones gonna start acting up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you're still gonna have to do the things that you did before, but sometimes it has to be a little bit different because of your situation.
Mm-hmm.
But don't stop loving each other. Don't stop expressing love. Don't stop appreciating the other, because I'm telling, and this enemy that we have, the devil, will start put things in your mind, thinking that the other person really don't want you.
Right.
Oh, you know, so these are things you have to reassure your wife. You have to reassure your husband that you're here through thick and through thin. You know what I mean? And that you're willing to change, and that you're willing to go through whatever it is that you are going through to make this marriage work.
Yeah, well, and like I said, and that example in front of other people, I say sometimes looks can be deceiving,
Mm-hmm.
and I think even if somebody's having an issue, I have I heard a pastor friend some years ago. He and his wife were really going through something, and she the first lady sitting in the front seat, and all she could do was just sit there and just grin, just smile. And one of the sisters says, First Lady, she quitting more than she normally does. He must have done something wrong or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you that is a distraction, especially when you're in leadership. It can be a distraction when people, like I said, people are looking at us. So, and the thing about it is, I want people to understand: don't try to get it together for other people, because at the end of the day, when you go home, it's just a couple.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's
it's just a couple.
That's why it's so important that couples make it right. If you do something or you make a mistake, own up to it. Be real about it, because I mean, what else you gonna do?
Yeah.
Be real about it, and then not only just be real about it, ask for forgiveness, and then mean it. Not only just mean it, and then change. I mean, like totally change. Do opposite of what you did before. Because if you don't do opposite for what you did before, then how do you expect for that person to trust you? How do you? I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
when you say I'm sorry and that you won't do it again, then that says you need to change. You say that you need to change. But if the person doesn't see the change, and if it doesn't happen, then they don't have nothing to go by. How can they trust you? How? Be honest. How can you trust somebody? That's just like when you give your children money to go to the store to get this, and they come back and they still didn't bring back the thing that you asked. So you can't trust them.
Or bring back your change.
Right. You can't trust them to go do this. Yeah, I can't trust them in anything else. You got to really think about that, because it's hard to come back. So for somebody to come back and really trust that person and put their 100% into the relationship, because the lack of trust. And sometimes we cause that lack of trust. So we have to change. They have to see the change. They have to be the change. So that's what it's going to take.
Yeah, and I think you just really answered one of the questions that we had. Matter of fact, we got a question that came in, and you kind of delved on it. So it was like, how can you build trust? The lady says, how, and we're not going to give anybody's name, so said, how can you build trust in a relationship after the trust has been broken?
It's hard. I know it's very hard to try to build trust after trust has been broken.
Does it depend on how broken it was? I mean, how egregious
No,
does it?
because trust is trust is trust. Once you broke trust, it's hard to come back. And it really does take an act of God. I'm so serious. takes an act of God to really get you back to where you supposed to be, because when that trust is broken, the love level that the person had for you has kind of diminished,
Mhm.
you know. And so because of the love level has diminished, it causes you to kind of step back and really look, because it's like, okay, well, I can't trust my partner in this area. Well, what areas can I trust? And then they start to question.
But I'm saying, so you think they should start looking for areas where they can't trust them, and maybe that lead to a full trust?
No,
No.
it's just time for, if I do something to you, first of all, before I even think about trying to do something to you, I should think, you should always be the first thought in my mind. If I do this,
Right,
how it's
right,
going to affect
right.
you. And
Right.
so, and then if I do it anyway, and then if you find out what I did, then it's up to me to come back to you. It's up to me to own up to it. It's up to me to apologize. Not only just apologize, but be really remorseful. Because there are some people that apologize, they ain't remorseful. They don't care. It's like, well, when are you gonna get over it? And that's not fair, because you caused it. When somebody else's caused the mistrust, it's your fault. I'm sorry, it's your fault. I'm sorry, it's your fault. So you got to do the repairing. You hurt them, and because you hurt them, it's going to cause that trust to diminish. Now, what are you going to do to get it back? How are you going to get it back? How are you going to win her heart? How are you going to win his heart? How are you going to win that love back when they was giving you 180%? Now it's down to 50%. What are you going to do? But that's something to really, really think about. And it's hard for that person that sent in that question. It's hard. And I know, especially, we got to, especially y'all, we're in a body of Christ. We have to have a forgiving heart. I understand that. But sometimes that forgiveness don't come right away. Honestly, and I'm just being truthful. It doesn't always come right away. Sometimes it takes time, but it's really up to you, each individual. I'm not telling you to do like me or to do like Will, but you got to know yourself. You got to know, hey, all right, I'm going to forgive. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get over it, but I'm going to do the very best that I can. And then for some of you all, that, well, I don't know, I'm leaving and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. That's totally your call and which way you want to go. But I will say this: it's important that you might need to seek counsel. And I ain't talking about the people at church. No, I'm not.
Yeah, because they're not going to give you scripture.
And
And
it's
when you
nothing
hurt,
wrong.
you're not trying to hear scripture.
But it's
You know?
nothing wrong with the scripture.
Right.
But I'm just saying, sometimes you need another person that doesn't know you to help you. If you understand what I'm saying, sometimes that's what it takes. You're going to need that other person to help kind of dig and figure out where your heart is or where you are. You know, what's going on. And then I'm gonna be honest with you, Will. Sometimes things that happen in our life changes how it changes us.
Right.
Because
Right.
if you do something to hurt somebody, you got to think about it. You caused it. This person has totally changed. You don't recognize them. Why? Because of the hurt. The hurt changed them. The hurt changed them to be something that they're not even used to.
Mhm.
And I tell anybody this, and I know I'm talking, I really want y'all to hear me. Men, you are responsible for your home. You are the king of your castle. You are the king of your home. You are the man. You are the king. And your wife is your queen. And it's really important. And I'm saying this from another wife to another brother or to another sister. It's really important that you don't open up doors that isn't meant for your wife or for your husband to have to go through stuff unnecessarily. Don't open up the door to allow the enemy to come in and your wife is fighting battles that's not even hers, and vice versa. Women, don't open up doors that will allow the enemy to come in and your husband is fighting battles that's not even meant for him. Don't even do that because it causes a rift in your relationship and it causes the veil to be really torn. So you all got to think about that because stuff that I'm dealing with on my own, and then you open up the door for something else to come in that I got to deal with on top of that.
On top of that.
That's true.
Right.
Man, how much can people take?
Yeah.
So we really, really, and I know it's a very sensitive subject, but y'all, we really got to think about what we're really doing in our relationships because if you love this man, if you love this woman, you're not going to hurt them. You're not going to go behind their back. You're not going to sneak around the corner. You're not going to do any of stuff like that. You're not going to go secretly to somebody's house, especially another female or a male. You're not going to do no mess like that. Because I'm telling you, once your husband find out, that hurt. Can you imagine hurting a man like that? I can't. That's something to really think about.
Right. So, and then some people feel like I'm gonna make them suffer the way they make me suffer, and becomes a tit for tat. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what do you want them to do? Because I'm not trying to be funny. We are human beings, and sometimes because of the hurt, they want to make you hurt.
Yeah, and then sometimes they make things worse than what.
Well, what do you blame them?
No, I'm just saying that they'll make it worse. That's that same that you just said about thinking about how would the other one
actually. But the thing about it is, the person that did the hurt, they didn't think about him.
Right.
They didn't even care, but they did it anyway.
Yeah. We're just saying that it's an answer to her. Well, not so much an answer to her question, but just addressing the question. It is difficult, and I just think it is a process. And then you have to be willing to face. But I want to go through that process.
Yeah, but it should have never happened anyway.
Well, the thing is, it happened. But I'm just saying, you want to go through the rebuilding, and because I don't think some things can be just totally destroyed. Other things can be broken. That's why when the Bible says, that's why when people say the anointing destroys the yoke, some people say it breaks the yoke. But anything broken can be fixed. You know what I'm saying? And that's why people need to read that scripture when they say that. But once something is destroyed, you can't come back from that.
So then how do you, so in saying that, everybody has a limit.
Right.
So my thing is, how do you know that the thing that you hurt your spouse with is their limit? How do you know?
Yeah. I just think at that point, like I said, we're not experts, but I'm just saying at that point, something really not tragic, but something has to really, really, at the point where, like I said, it's forgive 7 times 70. What happens on number 71? Are we still willing to forgive on 71? You know what I'm saying? So that's what. But thank you. Y'all keep those questions coming in because these are things that need to be good. That's why we have got to have this show beyond the vows. You know what I'm saying? What we have to do with it. So listen, we're going to go to a commercial. Mm-hmm. And when we come back, we have a couple of other questions that came through, and y'all better put your seatbelt on because what we're giving, the questions we have now, y'all gonna be like, ooh. So if there's anybody in the room that's under 18, tell them to get out the room or tell them to put their hands over their ears because it's about to get good here on Beyond the Vows with WC and Maria. Be right back.
This is a Beats by Bro Production.
All right, we are back. We are back with Beyond the Vows. I like the way it's written. I wish I could write like that because you know my writing is bad. My wife would tell me you write like a doctor. I am.
No, I never said that.
You know, doctors just scribble. You know, at work they tell us, they say, we'll sign the contracts for you. Don't even worry about it. So we have been talking about some of the questions that we have finally been able to get in. People, so had somebody ask us this question, and it says, "My wife and I are having some issues. When it comes to counseling, should we go individually and then come back together, or just start together? Can you help us?"
You want me to answer?
Yes, baby, you go for it because you on a roll.
Okay, so my own personal opinion. First of all, you need to figure out what it is that you had an issue with as a couple. Once you figure out what it is that you have the issue with, and then if you feel like, hey, the issue is with me, then you talk with your spouse and say, hey, babe, at this time, I really feel like the issue is me. And at this time, if it's okay with you, I really want to go ahead to go to counseling.
But like you said, that it was all right with you. You know, I think and sometimes that kind of softens the blow as opposed to
It does.
I'm going to counseling or you need to go to counseling. That kind of stuff.
It does.
You always think how you say it. I love it when you say how you say it.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, because the thing about it is I was an individual before I married you.
Right.
And so as a woman and you as a man, sometimes we go through things that the other person is not going to understand. Not that you're trying to make it difficult, but it's some things that you need to help yourself with. And I'll just say this, sometimes I'm growing up, everybody didn't grow up in a two adult household, everybody didn't grow up like that. Some people grew up with one parent in the house, whether it's mom and dad, whether it's mom or whether it's dad. A lot of things have happened in our childhood that we cannot erase or we have trauma with. And those things kind of like take us, to another level on the inside that we have to deal with. And then once we get married, something may have triggered something to come out or that we are dealing with that's really hurting our spouse or hurting ourselves. And that's why we really need to get down to the bottom of it and really talk to somebody that don't know you, but can help you to understand who you are, what has happened, and what you need to take steps to do.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, like for instance, you said when you're married, you become one. There's some things that women go through that I do not want to go through. Now they say you're one. I don't want to go through a monthly. Y'all can have that. Y'all can have that. But that is it. We're one now. So should be one voice, one mission, and that one mission is to have an exciting existence together where we can make changes in this world, where we can help bring light to people, know that people can get along, that marriage does work. Marriage, is longevity.
Can I say something else to add with that? Yeah. And some of us have been married more than once, so don't take what happened in the last marriage and bring that baggage over to your next one.
Baggage, yeah.
Because that becomes really bad uh, trauma incident.
Especially if
You know,
you see something, and it could be totally unintentional, but something you may see a behavior or situation that reminds you of something that you. What do you do in that situation?
I just think that you need to have an honest conversation with your spouse.
Before that's really part of.
I don't say, I'm
Yeah.
not saying before, I'm saying have an open conversation with your spouse, explaining, hey, in this relationship, I realized this. But the thing about it is, each have got to be prepared and ready to listen to each other, not have a fighting match, but really listen to that person because um, something that they may be going through is traumatic for them. You may not think so because you're not feeling it, but it doesn't mean anything to that person. It means a lot, but you can't take it for granted, and that's what I'm talking about. You know, I should be able to come and talk to you about anything, and you shouldn't flare up. You shouldn't get upset because that's how I feel, and vice versa. And there's something that you tell me, I need to be able to listen to you with understanding, even though I'm not going through it, but help you.
Right. And see, this should be a no judgment zone because, like I said, you can't. I think what maybe last night something I experienced, and I was a little taken aback by it, a little embarrassed by it. And you always know when something is wrong.
Mm.
You said, "What's wrong?" And what I tell you, I said, I want to tell you, but it's a little embarrassing. You said, "Well, if you can't tell me, who can you tell?" Well, I definitely didn't want to tell nobody else.
But it's a
Right.
matter of trust. If you can't trust me with the small things,
Right.
then you can't trust
Right.
me with the
With
big
the
things.
big things or anything for that.
Right. And it's just
Yeah.
that doesn't work. You know, that's I think everything it builds, for itself. So it's really important. You all, we just got to grow up. I'm just being honest,
Yeah.
and stop all of this foolishness.
Yeah.
Stop doing stuff that make your wife or your husband upset. Stop it. So what? You had habits once before. Stop those habits because you know what? It's going to affect you. And what's going to happen? You're going to be by yourself and you're going to lose the very thing that you joined together with beyond the vows. Okay? Don't do that. So if you don't want to lose a good thing, please, I'm begging you, stop it.
No. And to my brother that asked this question, I kind of definitely agree with what Maria said. You find out what the problem is, and if it's me, her, if it's you, or if it's your wife, and if it's something that you really, really need help with that you don't believe your spouse can help you with. Now, we're always transparent on this show. I want to say suffer. I put it this way: they diagnosed with PTSD because of combat stuff like that. Anybody that's never been in the military will not understand what that post-traumatic stress disorder is. But PTSD is not only military; it's other people who have gone through stuff, that's traumatic. Substance abuse, spousal abuse, sexual abuse. All that could cause post-traumatic stress disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that my wife has never served in the military. And the things that caused my PTSD, she would not understand because she never experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's causing a problem in a marriage, especially when it comes to communication, because early on communication and even still sometimes communication can be an issue because it'd be like, there's no sense. I never say ain't no. There is no reason to talk about it if you're not going to understand it. Or you already put in your mind, you're not going to understand where my PTSD comes. So
Okay.
so in that instance, my brother, so I've done is go to counseling. I go to PTSD group building, and have individual counseling, and they help me to be able to help her to understand better what it is that I'm going through, what motivates me to say or do the things I do. If there's a conflict, I act this way because it's a trigger and stuff like that. And the more she begins to understand or empathize with what I'm going through individually, then it helps us collectively. Same thing. If she had went through something that I don't even know how to do it, whether it's about being a woman or situation to help anybody, she would have to work that out on her own, and I would have to be in that position. And I mean that word have to be, not need to be, have to be in a position to where I would just be there to be a shoulder to lean on, or to cry on. Baby, I may not understand what you're going through, but I'm here. If you just want to vent, whatever. So those are things, my brother, that you can do individually, and it's just something that you both need to talk about. Whether should we do it individually or just go together.
Well, what I was going to say, Will, was but anytime your spouse is going through something, you're going through it with them. I don't care what nobody say. You're going through it with them because it's in the house. It's in your surroundings. So anything that's going on with your spouse, you're going to go through. And so the most important thing that's going through it is you need to have that same empathy for them, because you're taking them through something that they're not used to. And not only that, you have to be understanding. So, okay, well, my wife or my husband may not understand what I'm going through at this time, but this is what I'm going to do. I want them to understand what it is that I'm dealing with, and I need their help. And the only way that that's going to happen is you have to have a conversation. Yep. What is going on with our spouses that we cannot have a conversation? I mean, not a fight, but a conversation. Just talk about, hey, babe, look, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with. I don't know how I'm going to deal with it, and please, I need your help. And don't be afraid to say that you need help, because it's important. I cannot stress to you how important your spouse is. They're your best friend. They're not going to leave you high and dry. You've got to trust that process, and you got to trust that the love that you two share is going to help the both of you get through it. But if you don't open up, if you don't communicate, what do you expect for him or her to do? What do you expect for them to do? You expect for them to be on your side. How can they be on your side when you're not saying nothing?
Right. And then don't go talking too much. Some people run your mouth too much because you're going to tell people stuff about what's going on in your house. And not everybody is out there rooting for you. Not everybody's out there wants you to succeed. But then, you may tell the wrong person, and then next thing you know, they looking at your husband or your wife upside down because you done told them something about them that, I'm just saying.
But now I will say this. There have been times, or there are times, that if the spouse do not open up and talk, they have to go somewhere. I was talking about counseling earlier. Sometimes they have to go somewhere because you know what? Because they got something built up on the inside of them. It's like, man, I really want to help my spouse, but he won't let me. Think about it, y'all. And it happens more often than not, but it shouldn't. If this is your best friend and you trust and love them, then you should be able to talk to them.
Yep. Wow. Okay. Well, we appreciate that that question. And like I said, if you all want to get your questions in, go to beyondthevows.skstv@gmail.com and we'll talk about it, whatever. So this is now, they really got to put their seatbelts on for this one. Because wait a minute, this one about make me hot too. Okay. So the question is, my husband wants to have oral relations and I think it's a sin. Are there any scriptures about it? I told y'all, did I tell you? So we've been doing some research on this one. What did you say about well, let me tell you what my grandfather said. My grandfather and my grandmother, to their 90s, they were so active. I mean, we would go over there to their house and they would come out of the front door. We would drive up and they would come out the front door in their bathrobe and come out, what are you doing here? And one time I'm there and say, can you come back? I mean, them two, like rabbits, they just give up. So I actually asked Granddad this, many years ago. And I said, Granddad, is oral sex a sin? My granddad looked on his glass. He said, I don't eat nothing that gets up and walks away.
Oh my God. Jesus help me, Lord.
I had to think about it. Eats nothing that gets up and walks away. Okay. So then one time I heard this lady preacher on the phone. She, with the doily on the hat, she was talking about oral sex and that said, you husbands that make your wives do oral sex, you might as well treat them like a $2 whore and buy them a hamburger. That's how you feel. So it's really now that, especially in the Christian religious circles, that y'all start dealing with realistic stuff. Stop sugarcoating things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This is real life, man. Come on. We don't talk about that. Oh my God, that's good. No, we're gonna talk about it because we want to help save lives, save marriages. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're not in the marriage saving business, but at least we want to share something that is going to help you. So, is it a sin, or is there a scripture that says that it is a sin? No, there is no scripture that specifically says that is a sin.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But I did see some Song of Solomon. Y'all know Song of Solomon is like the rapper's delight. I mean, the Romeo delight. That Song of Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can look at that. So there is Song of Solomon. It says the poetic book describes intense intimacy. So what's the difference between intimacy and intense intimacy?
Intense.
Yeah.
I think that's passionate.
But can't intimacy still be passionate? But what is intense?
Intense. It's passionate. It's you know what? You don't.
I can be passionate, but not intense, right?
But intense. It's.
You mean that's like intense, like me and your grandpa in the barn pumping and sweating?
I mean, and intense is. All I can say is with a lot of passion. That's all I'm saying.
Makes you just
right. Exactly, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with it. So the song, I was looking up this. The Song of Solomon describes the intimate, sensual love between a husband and a wife, which some interpret as hinting of oral affection, emphasizing the goodness of the body and the marital delight. Now, the Bible does say that the bed in a marriage, the bed is undefiled.
Marriage bed.
Yeah, it's undefiled. So if this is something that you and your spouse want to do, by all means, go for it, because it's you. It's not like you're advertising on yesterday's news. And there's some stuff that you don't have to advertise anyway. You know what I mean? But if this is what you want and you want to please your man, you want to please your wife, by all means enjoy, because even the Bible says in the scripture that to enjoy the breast of your wife, if I'm not mistaken. I think
Yes,
that's
it's the breastises.
okay, well, it's in Song of Solomon. I don't know where it is exactly, but I do know that it's in there. So I mean, just like Christ loved the church, man, you gotta love your wife for real.
Yes,
real.
smack that.
Well,
Okay.
You have to really love her and treat her like she's the best thing that's ever happened to you. As we get older, there's some things that's gonna get out of shape. There's some things that's gonna go away. Sometimes you might
get
go
warm
bald.
in here. You get warm in here.
It is a little
Yes,
warm.
it is.
Sometimes you might go a little bald or whatever, but that's still your good thing.
Yeah.
It's still your good thing.
Yeah. And I like the way Song of Solomon says, it says, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth.
Where's that at?
That's the song. That's in Song of Solomon 1 and in the second verse.
Okay.
But there's the Message Bible, which spells out stuff. It spells out
What
stuff.
does it say?
And the Message Bible says a whole lot differently. I mean, the Message Bible in Song of Solomon 1 and 2, it says, kiss me on the mouth. Yes, for your love is better than wine, heavier than your aromatic oils. The syllables of your name murmur like a meadow brook.
Oh.
Maria.
Oh my God.
The syllables Maria. No wonder everyone loves to say your name. Wait a minute, now I know about that one. Why does they said no wonder everyone loves to say your name? How everybody calling you like I'm calling you? Okay, I may have a little issue, but take me away with you. Let's run off together. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what Song of Solomon says, and that was. It says, and the descriptions of fruit and sweetness often interpreted as allegorical for deep marital satisfaction. See, there we go with that deep and intense.
I mean, wouldn't you want something that's deep and intense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, then.
Yes.
And so that's when the passion comes in.
Yes.
Don't ever lose that
I don't have to buy
passion.
you a hamburger and give you $2.
Oh my God, help you, Jesus. Don't ever lose that passion.
None.
Because it's really important. And I don't know about anybody else, but when I'm showed that kind of love, it goes deeper than what words could ever say.
That's right. Yum, yum, eat them up. Anyway, I'm glad they asked this because, like I said, people don't talk about. So check this out. In Corinthians, okay, because she's looking for scriptures that talk against it. Okay, so actually, we've been telling you that the game on. 1 Corinthians 7:3-5. Don't forget that. 1 Corinthians 7:3-5. Read it for yourself. Emphasizes mutual satisfaction, mutual sexual fulfillment within marriage, stating the husband should fulfill his duty to his wife and the wife to her husband, and that they should not deprive each other except by mutual consent. Now, what is that mutual consent? Right.
Well, because we both have to agree. Like, say for instance, if you wanted to go on a fast, and you would have to say, "Hey, honey, this time I know we normally do this, but with your permission."
I'm going fast and you can't get them tonight. That's what you talking about?
Yeah, because you want to focus on some things that God's put in your spirit.
But what you would say? Okay, but can we do it? And then you can fast later.
That would be something that you agree.
But then that be
It has to be a
fulfilling.
mutual.
Right. So fulfilling the duty. Beautiful.
Listen,
Yeah.
this is what I'm going to say. If you and your spouse, men and women, if both of you, if there's something that you want to do and your husband knows that, okay, my wife is a woman of God, she really need to seek the face of God for something, then I can wait. And vice versa for us women. If our husbands need to seek the face of God for whatever the case is, then, we can wait.
Right. But it's always have to be fasting.
No, it doesn't always have to be.
So what are instances where we'd be like, okay, let's just chill out for a minute.
What do you mean when is that? You should always want to be intimate.
Right, but it's saying except for time where you just said.
So, we are human beings, right?
Yep.
And that, we yearn to be with our significant other, right? And if you don't give it like it's supposed to be given, somebody else will try to get it.
Yeah, because my wife said, she said, I get mine.
And so this is the thing. So that the enemy won't come and tempt us.
Right.
Because the enemy can use things, social media is one of them. I don't even understand how these women can get on social media and just display their bodies in a way, and I don't even get it. What are you trying to do? How do you think you're gonna get a husband and you got 5 million people looking at you? I don't get that. But anyway, and then you men don't have to answer to that. You don't have to submit yourself to loose women, and women. You don't have to seduce yourself to loose men. Seeing people in your DM. Do you know these things can hurt your spouse? Or do you really care? That's the question. So don't even entertain that, because that's how the enemy comes in. And if you open up the door and the devil get a foot in with some stuff like that from social media, what do you expect? What are you trying to do? Are you really trying to lose this woman? Are you really trying to lose this man? You got to really think about it. So that's why we have to have consent, so that we won't give care to the enemy coming in and trying to tempt us in places where we should not allow him to tempt us.
Right. So the answer, or at least the addressing her question, is there is nothing in the Bible that speaks against it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible talks more about intimacy, and being intentional in
and it's a connection, Will.
Yeah,
it's a connection. I mean, come on. Without the connection, how in the world you're gonna last?
Yeah, well, for us, the answer is no. It ain't no sin. For us, I mean, you know what I'm saying? What is that? To each his own. But like I said, we got a lot of folk out there that's just trying to tell you how to live, how you tell about. It's you and your spouse. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. We don't listen to Mary, Don't You Weep when we want to be intimate.
I told them that, I'm on a gospel station and have an R&B station. That's what I said. Reverend, how can you have R&B and do gospel? I said, because when I'm trying to be intimate with Mama, I'm not trying to hear "Oh Mary, Don't You Weep." I want to hear Reverend Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross, Deacon Teddy Pendergrass, Pastor Charlie Wilson. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear that. So, but listen, we have had a great time, and like I said, next week we got the Dooleys, Kelvin and Latanya Dooley from J&K Style Grill. They're going to be here. Listen, keep sending us these letters. Keep sending us these questions. We love it. It helps us, to even gravitate. Hold on, okay? And don't forget, Beyond the Vows, SKSTV at gmail.com. Send us your letter today. Beyond the Vows .skstv at gmail.com. Don't forget our sponsor, deafchildhope.org. go there and, get a child today. Okay? We love you. Can I get a kiss? Yeah, let's go practice. Let's go practice. Y'all, we can practice. He's had to go home. All right, bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.
Some kind of way. Some kind of way. Some kind of way. Some kind of way. Some kind